Hi everyone, today we're gonna check out how to make low poly rocks inside of Blender. So, start the Blender. Some knowledge with Blender is preferable. If you don't have it, you have the screencast here. I'm gonna explain the step by step what I'm doing, so hope you can catch up with me. So, Shift A, we're gonna add a cube. Go into the edit mode with tab. I'm gonna use the bisect tool to make some stylized rocks. Press 1 to go into vertex mode. All the modes are 1 is vertex, 2 is edge, 3 is face. So press 1 to go into the vertex. Space to get the bisect tool. I already had it, but you can just type the bisect and just drag the cursor where you want to cut your model. You're gonna get some options here. You probably will have it like this. You'll have it like this. You need to click on the clear inner or clear outer. Depends from which side you cut your model, and you don't want a hole in model, so you need to click fill. And we're gonna do that a few more times. Just rotate it if it's on the wrong side. No. Okay, so let's say I'm satisfied with my model. Next thing what I need to do is clean it up a little bit because we have n-gons here. So we're gonna just try and do quads or triangles out of it using the knife tool and the edge slide. While you're in the vertex mode, edge slide or vertex slide, you just click on the vertex, go to the options here and enable the auto merge. What that does, when you slide the vertex onto another using double G, so G once and G twice, you overlap it, click it, and it merges them together. Also, I don't want the bottom face, so I'm gonna click the 3 on the keyboard and delete that one. Go back to vertex. I'm gonna do this one. Also, I can select the whole model, press W, then merge vertices by distance. It will get rid of all loose vertices. Then G, click Z, this one. I have some n-gons. I can do knife with a K. No, I do not like that. I think I might leave it as it is. Just gonna cut this one. And this one. The best model, but if you are doing low poly models, you need really to do a lot of them really quickly. This is just one of the ways you can take the plane and extrude it in all sorts of ways to get the shape you want. Okay, so let's say this is the rock that I want. Now what I need to do is UV unwrap it. I have already my image here. So go into the edge mode by pressing number 2. Select the edges which ones we're gonna do here and here, and this one here, and then press Ctrl E, mark seam, select the model with A, press U, and then unwrap. Okay, it already unwrapped for me because I have live unwrap here. If you don't have it, UV live unwrap, and then you can click on the edges here, edge mode, select it, Ctrl E, mark seam, and it will automatically unwrap for you. So I'm gonna do it like this. Let me check the stretching. I have some stretching here. That would be fine for the sake of tutorial. So now arrange it into your layout to take as much space as possible, but take the margins into the account for texture bleed. This one we're gonna mirror, so UV mirror y-axis, rotate, I really don't like it here. UV mirror Y. UV mirror X. Okay, so let's say that you have your UV map as you want it, and you need to bake some textures now. So let's go to shading tab. I think I already have my material set up. So I'm gonna click on the model, material, new. That's what you should do. And if you don't see that, click on the use nodes here. So basically what we want to do is add a gradient to our model. So I'm gonna add the input texture, texture coordinate, no, that one, not that one, input texture coordinate. And I want my mapping, so I can connect it like this. And I need some shader to show me the color. So okay, so basically now I have converted the vector to color and applied it to a model. But we don't want that. We need to separate the Z component. So it's a separate XYZ, and we get the gradient like this. Now we can apply the color ramp. I think it's in a converter. Yes, it is. Color ramp, and we're gonna change the interpolation to B-spline. So you can change now the amount of gradient with this in a Z direction. I'm gonna choose some colors. Let's say rockish colors. Hover over the color, Control C, click on this one handle, hover over it, Control V. Okay, I'm gonna just add some light. Okay, so let's say we have our basic gradient. What I need now is small cracks in the stone, so it appears more realistic. We can do Voronoi texture, connected to the texture coordinate object or generated, both works. Okay, we're gonna need, so you can see how it looks like. Okay, so this is a Voronoi texture. Okay, so we need to combine that texture with this color here, and it's the same as Photoshop layering system. It's just using the nodes. Basically, take color, mix RGB, and this one here. Okay, so now you have mixed the Voronoi texture with this gradient here, but we want multiply. Okay, we need multiply, and we need to change the Voronoi to distance and crackle, so we get stone-ish like cracks. And we're gonna just do it smaller. We can barely see it. Okay, a little bit too big. You can change also the types of interpolations here. Not interpolation, I mean the distance. Manhattan, I think Manhattan is fine also. You can play with it and see what works for you. So when I ramp this up to 100%, you can see that this is really black, and it kind of dims down my gradient. So I want to tweak the Voronoi texture a little bit with RGB curves. So let's say I want to take this up, take this down. And what if I press the overlay? Oh no, overlay is too strong. You can play also with these modes. You can check which one is good for you. I usually use multiply when I want to overlay something dark, and screen when I want to highlight something. So we're gonna just do this one. So basically this is all what we need here. This is all what we need. Just I don't like this. Okay, I'm gonna leave it at a distance here. 0.7. Okay, that should be fine. It looks decent. Now what we need to do is bake this texture to our UV map. But you can do that only in a cycles mode. So cycles render engine, select that one here in the render tab. What we need is an image, so you can go to UV editing, but since I have that window down there, we can do it here. New image, diffuse, rock. That's fine. So you see it creates a new image for me. I need to add that image here. Texture, image texture, diffuse rock. Basically, Cycles needs a texture in the node system, so it knows which texture bake to, but you don't need to connect it to anything. So that's fine. You need to have selected Cycles. Go to the render, bake, but before that it's gonna be too dark if we check it like this. I have already tweaked my world settings, so it looks like this, but usually it looks like this, and there is no ambient occlusion. So what you need to do is enable the ambient occlusion. You can tweak up the factor and light up the world a little bit. We can do the reddish, so it has slight impact on our model. Then select your model, press W, shade smooth. Otherwise you're gonna have lines in your bake. Okay. Now select the model, go into the render. Here under the bake, choose the combined. Margin is usually 16, but you can put it to 12. I don't need it more. Anyway, you are hand painting this texture later, so it's good to have some margin, but for this we actually don't need it. But let's leave it like this. And let's try to do the back. You need to wait a little bit. So we got our texture here. We need to save it, otherwise Blender might lose it later. I'm not sure, but better safe than sorry. So now we can go back to Eevee. Click this one here. We don't need this shader anymore. I mean material. So click remove here and click new. And we are just gonna add this texture image to our base color. You have this circle icon here. Click image texture and select your diffuse rock texture. Okay. I was trying previously this bake, so I have one more texture here that was left for previous bake. Okay, so now we can go to texture paint. Texture paint, gonna move the overlays. Also, you see how model is shiny? We don't want that, so we're gonna remove the specular, roughness, sheen tint. Or we're gonna just remove the principled. This material. Oh, I could left it. I had a wrong one selected. Yeah, that one. You need to choose the flat, and it will show you texture without world influencing it or any kind of lighting. So now I need to switch up to my tablet. I'm using Wacom Intuos M here. You can do it with a mouse, but I guarantee you your wrist is gonna regret it. So we are in a texture paint now, as you can see it up there. Okay. Yeah, you can press N to get this panel or T to get this panel here. We're gonna click on tool and we're gonna get our colors. This one color here should be one of the brightest colors on the model. Since my light is coming from this side, I'm gonna sample this color and paint my edges in that color. Click S and just hover. You can see the right color picker, how it changes the color. Just hold this, hover and release it, and you will get the color picked up for you. Just gonna change my view to orthographic using 5. See, it's easier to work. And then you can paint. But I want to change my fall off because I have Gaussian like fall off. I like this one. It's flat and I like to paint with it. Guys, that's all for this tutorial. Thank you for watching. Share, comment, like, dislike or whatever, and see you next time.